Next up on that list, we finally made it to a guy who's played a lot of snaps for the Steelers on defense this year. He cost $2.433 million on the cap. Robert Spillane. Drop in the chat. Yay or nay? You want him back or nah? All right, I guess. And Cal Grajada, I did see you ask the question. He says, how much is the vet minimum? So it's based off of your years played. For Marcus, I think he's in that 6 to 7 year range. So for him, it's probably going to be anywhere between 600,000 and 800,000, like in that range. I think when you get to years 8 to 10, that's when it's around $1 million for your vet for your minimum, and then it's like it's coupled like every 2 to 3 years. It's like a different tier, but for him, his tier is going to be less than $1 million. Like I said, he might depend on, because I don't remember if he's year 6 or 7 for. I think it's year 6. I feel like he's going to be in that 800,000 and below range. I think he's like in that category right there off the top of my head, but that is ultimately how it works in terms of the vet minimums. Is based on how many years you have accumulated and stuff like that. But going back to Robert Spillane, to me, man, I want Robert back, man. It's a couple reasons. Number one, he's super consistent, super productive. I know what I'm getting with him. He's my McDonald's number one. It doesn't matter where I'm at. That's the Big Mac. It's that simple. You know what I mean? You might not love it. You might not hate it, but you know what you're getting with it. And that's the thing that I feel like the coaching staff really appreciates with him. The next thing is I think he still will be on the cheaper side. We talked about his cap hit, 2.4333 mil and all that stuff. That's still very, very cheap for a guy that played a ton of snaps and was very productive for them on defense. So, yeah, man, I would bring him back. I don't know the number. Nothing more than 5. Nothing more than 5.
I was gonna say it can't be the same.
Yeah, nothing more
than 5. He's got a
5,
case
but
for saying like I deserve an upgrade.
No, for a fact he does. I would personally, I think 4 is right or 4.5 is right because we're still gonna bring in another player or we're still gonna have him competing with the Mark Robinson, and I don't want $4 million as my backup. So I want to make sure that the cost is right. But I think the difference for him is we still have a Myles Jack and we have a Mark Robinson currently here. So even though he is going to be deserving of a raise and he's going to have a case for it, the team's case is going to be, we still got Myles Jack here and we got a young guy, Mark Robinson, who we're excited about. So you can play hardball and try to get a higher number, but we already have in-house options that we are feeling good about already. And that's the part that I think will hurt Spillane in terms of his negotiations here. Now, if he was trying to go somewhere else, I think that's there. I think he can go get 5 on open market. I think he would be able to get that. I think, shoot, you might catch one of them starving franchises that'll get you 6.5 somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, just in the sense of like a fool. Like, we've talked about how we've seen every offseason, there's going to be a team out there that will overpay.
That was my question. I didn't know if other teams would value him the same way we value him here. I feel like we do value him.
We value him here. We do. But we're crowded in the sense that we have a Myles who's the high-end guy. We don't view Spillane as the high-end guy, but we have Mark Robinson who we're like, yo, you can do potentially Spillane but more athletic. And that's the part that's even more exciting about him. So that's why with Spillane, you're kind of in that middle ground of, yes, we want to keep you, but how much do we want to invest in you if we don't view you as Myles Jack and we got this young guy that we're saying to ourselves, if both of y'all compete this all season, you probably start the first 6 games, but once he's up to speed, we're going to turn the keys over to him. That's what the team's probably thinking. So if you're Spillane, when you're trying to have a leg to stand on, because I just know when I was in negotiations, how did we talk to me? And the thing that helped me the most was Worlds retiring. Because now it's like, bro, I'm not competing with Worlds, Debo, Jarvis. It's not. I'm competing with Debo, who just was retired, and Jarvis at the time, who didn't have the numbers. Way better ground to stand on. Right now for Spillane, man, as long as Myles Jack here, you're not going to be that big dog.
It's a very similar scenario to yours.
No, it absolutely is, yeah. Yeah, I was like, that's the difference for me, though. It was like, I had Worlds retire.
It's like
nobody knew who was going to retire.
You're getting that contract to maybe be a potential starter, but definitely just, you got some guys with paths ahead of you.
I give you enough so you feel taken care of, but not enough that if you're not the starter, I don't look at you and I'm like, bro, why am I paying him this? And that's ultimately what helped me towards the end of my career here. When you bringing in a Bud and a TJ and you want to play chick and stuff like that, it's like, well, hey, man, his number still isn't crazy. so we can let him still be all right, role mentor, role player. When guys get hurt, you go out there type situation. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with Spillane coming back as well.
All right.
Someone said it pretty good. I want to find their username. I'm going to say their comment. I'll give them credit later. Mm-hmm. They said Spillane is the safety valve to the inside linebacker room.
No, facts. I would agree with that, man. I would agree. Big Jinx 412 simply says Spillane is a Steeler. I'm with you on that, man. Let's see. Kenneth Moses says, yep, on a similar deal. We could bring him back. Like I said, I don't think you'll get him on a similar. I think the team is going to try to come back with that similar approach. But to me, Spillane, your argument is the numbers.
Yeah.
We'd have done this multiple years now. You done put everybody out here in front of me. You done had all this stuff, and my numbers are still what they are.
Particularly this last year.
I'm still the guy that you can't get off the field. I'm the third down guy. I'm the guy you can't get off the field. So as much as you want to criticize me, as much as you want to tell me what I can't do, let's talk about what I do. You know, and what I do for this team is a lot.
That was Dunte Baker that said it. He said, keep Robert safety valve for the linebacker room.
Along with him being a productive special teams player as well. We talked about that on the show when he came on with us. Just because he's no longer the main special team guy, he still played about 40 to 50% of the special team snaps this year. Like, he plays a ton, both defense and special teams. A lot of times when he's going to defense, watch on punt. He's covering a punt before he even goes to play defense, man. Watch on some of these kickoffs, man. He running out. Well, now they switched it out. They started to get Mark Robinson out there more this year. But even before that, last year, it was like, man, Spillane be the dude running down on kickoff and then turn around and play defense. That sucks.